We're back.
Okay, this is it. We're pretty sure this time we're going to get through this show without too much technical woes. Anyway, Gigi Stetler, Tom Alexander. This is Just Ask Gigi Live. And here we are. We were attempting to talk finance versus cash and advantages, disadvantages. What works for you specifically? And you were telling us a little bit of you were starting to tell us a story about some of the dealers and how common it is with all these problems with financing.
Yeah, I just, because people didn't hear from the beginning, and just to,
you can recap.
I'll recap a little bit. So we started off, the reason I thought that this topic would be important today. It's a lot of calls this week on advice about cash and financing, and should they get pre-qualified before they go to a dealer and stuff like that, and the frustration in so many customers that want to get a price they're looking at RVs and they ask the salesman for a price, and apparently they don't want to give you a price until you tell them if you're paying cash or financing, which I thought was just kind of bizarre. They couldn't even get a price. So I dug a little deeper into that, and I had actually a couple of scenarios where customers were talked into paying financing and saying that, if you finance, we'll give you a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 discount on this RV if you finance it.
Right.
And of course they're not getting the picture of how and why that happened. So I was about to tell a story on one client that had purchased, lives in Florida, and he had purchased an RV from, I believe, RV Wholesale Direct or RV Wholesale, some dealer up north, Ohio, I believe. And he had negotiated a price, and he had the ability to pay cash. So they had told him that they would give him a $6,500 discount if he financed it.
Right.
So he thought, wow, okay, that sounds great. So he flew up there to pick up the RV, signed all his paperwork and financed it, and figured he would just pay it off.
Right.
So they put in the contract that if he paid the loan off in less than 12 months, they would charge his credit card $6,500 and made him leave his credit card on file. Well, that's complete fraud. It alters the terms of the contract, because these finance contracts are simple interest with no prepayment penalty. So you can't have another contract that basically gives you a prepayment penalty. So that was awful. So, but the guy didn't, how I figured that out, and he wasn't a member yet. He got in the RV, still didn't know that was, that situation. And he drove back to Florida, and he wrecked the RV on the way back to Florida. So I met him because he came into my dealership for repairs, for body work.
Right.
And then he signed up as a member, and he joined, he hired me for GPS to just overlook his contracts and make sure his insurance is in place and that they're going to cover everything that needs to be covered. It was a brand new motorhome. So I started looking at his paperwork, and I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. It actually says that they're going to charge his car $6,500. But what they didn't put in the contract, that he had to make 12 equal payments. So
that's convenient.
I found a loophole because I wanted to get him out of that.
Yeah.
So I advised him to, number one, cancel his credit card, and then number two, pay off the loan, all of the loan but $100, because it didn't say 12 equal payments. So he didn't close the loan, so at least we had a little leverage there. So he kept the loan open with $100. But what frustrated him the most, he had actually gotten his first payment, his first payment coupon.
Yeah.
He had made one payment before I had met him. And when he got his statement, his payment was like $644 a month. $471 of that was interest of his payment. So if you do the math by 12 payments, it was actually more than the $6,500 that he saved, that he allegedly saved. So anyway, anytime a dealer tells you that they're going to give you a better deal if you finance, run as far away from that dealer as you can possibly get.
In
Do
the
not
opposite direction.
do business with any dealer that won't give you a
Yeah.
price and wants to charge you more money if you pay cash.
Yeah.
That is the biggest tip of the week.
Well, it's a great tip, and folks can call in and write the RV advisor. You want to learn more about this. You want to, let's say you're thinking about getting an RV. You're not necessarily an RV owner yet. You want to be an RV owner, and you're really interested in doing it and living the RV lifestyle. Finance is a big thing, folks, as you well know, with everything. And RVs is no different. And there are unscrupulous people out there in the industry
Well,
waiting.
It is one of your biggest purchases next to your house.
Yep.
And there's when you look at these low payments, $200 a month, $180 a month, stuff like that, I don't really have a problem with an issue with 20-year financing or 15-year financing, no money down, that kind of thing. If you're financing $30,000 and under, when you get into a bigger purchase than that, because cash is king. So if you can pay a couple $100 a month, and then if you want to sell it and you're upside down, that's when you'll write your check. But right now you could make good money right now, possibly with your money. So I don't have with making sure that you have the ability at some point to cover because you will be upside down at some point, because if you finance the tax and stuff. But anything over $30,000 loan is $30,000 to $40,000. You got to be careful. It's like way up there in the $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, financing the whole thing and stretching it out over 20 years, because that's when, on a motorhome, you drive off the lot, you're going to lose $20,000, $25,000. You better be prepared to write a check for that.
Yeah.
Because that's when you get into trouble. Travel trailers is not so bad. It's just those high-end motorhomes, So, and I had a customer had asked me, a member, and asked me if he should get pre-qualified for a loan prior to walking into a dealership. Not a bad idea, but of course they're going to ask you for a VIN number. So, and I advised him, I said, it's easy to get a VIN number. Just go on any dealer's website, because normally the VIN number is right on just pick something, just to get pre-qualified, to get the ball rolling. Because then they'll just qualify you for a dollar amount. It won't necessarily be that particular vehicle. Then you can just, replace the VIN number. And State Farm is an excellent source. Go to your local State Farm and apply for a loan, pick a VIN number, and then they'll at least tell you what you're qualified for, and an interest rate. And then from there, when you go to the dealership, if the dealer is close, even if he's a half a point higher, half a point's not going to kill you, unless you're in $100,000 financing, number. But in the $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 number, half a point isn't very much. Give the dealer the business, because the dealer does need to make some profit. That's not a lot of money, but the convenience of the dealer doing everything there for you, and then I'm not, our mission is not to beat up on dealers to make profits. Our mission is to just keep them and hold them accountable to do the right thing, as far as,
fairness.
Yeah, fairness, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. This is Just Ask Gigi Live with Gigi Stetler. My name's Tom Alexander, and of course, we're very interested in your questions as well, and find out, what are you thinking about with your RV that you have, or if you're thinking about buying an RV, what questions might you have? There's no better person to answer those questions than the RV advisor herself, Gigi Stetler. And if you want to call in, if you want to email it, it's info@thervadvisor.com. That's info@thervadvisor.com. And our number is 833-229-0911. That's 833-229-0911. And let's see. We got, not sure if we have any questions coming in right at this moment, but we do have, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, jump right in.
I do want to point one thing out.
Yeah.
When you're talking about, in the market to start shopping for an RV and stuff, please hire me first, or become a member first before you sign on the dotted line. 90% of my members right now, or that have hired me as GPS, is after the fact. They want me to unwind a bad deal that they got themselves into. And nobody reads the fine print. Please just let me look at that contract. Please let me look at the front, the back, the side, the middle, everything before you sign it. Because that's where you get yourself in trouble. And then, when you come to me for advice after the fact and you've already signed it, you've signed a binding contract. So it's really hard for me to unwind something. So please, get out there and shop. And just before you sign it, hire me.
Yeah. When you're driving around in the car and you're listening to a commercial break comes on and a car ad comes on, and right before the car ad, you hear this. It's like, the disclaimer. Yeah, and you can't understand a word, right? It just sounds like a fly buzzing your ear, right? You can't make out a word. There's a reason for that. They're hiding something.
That's a disclaimer.
And that's a disclaimer, and it is essentially the radio version of fine print. It's fine print on radio. And you want to know what they're saying. What are those little stipulations and rules and loopholes and this, that, and the other? Gigi Stetler she can definitely decode all that stuff for you. So it's really important to really find out what the fine print means, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it is very, very difficult for me to unwind something. Fortunately for that situation with the $6,500 guy, I found a loophole. But had the dealer had put that in the language, 12 equal payments, that would have been another story. They would have, he could still cancel his credit card, but they would have had grounds to sue him. But then you have, it's an illegal tactic, and we would have had to go, get the attorney general involved and stuff like that, because that's not legal. That's borderline fraud. But lucky for the client, it all worked out. But it's funny because the dealer, we had made a couple of calls to the dealer, and he made a comment and said, well, what difference does it make? He canceled his credit card anyway, which means he attempted to charge it. When he got the notice from the bank. That what happens is when he wouldn't have known that otherwise. Exactly. Yeah. And the reason that the dealer knew, because what happens is when a customer pays off a loan, the dealer gets what's called a chargeback. Yeah. So that comes back out of that comes out of their account. They get charged back that profit. So the dealer must have got the chargeback notice right away. And when they got the chargeback notice, they must have went to run the guy's credit card and realized the guy's canceled his card. Yeah. So, which means that they did try to run it, or they would have never known that he canceled his card. Right, of course. Exactly. Yeah. So, that's, lots of fun. So you want to avoid those kinds of things. You don't want to have to deal with that, and you really can avoid it with visiting the RV advisor, checking in, seeing, hey, I got this contract, I have this policy, whatever it is, warranty, whatever, and you want to, and it's like, what? There's some words here. I think they're English, but I'm not exactly sure what they mean, right? And listen, in a lot of times they're designed that way to sort of like, they either intimidate you by, I just don't feel like reading it, or if you do try to read it, it's just, kind of goes over your head. You don't have to deal with that anymore. All you got to do is go to the RV advisor. Exactly. And it's critical. I mean, you want to make sure that you're armed with the information, the education you need before you lay any money. Right? Yep, absolutely. It's absolutely critical. And are there differences in terms of policy and everything? What if you finance or if you buy cash? What kinds of difference? I mean, are there? That's the problem right now. The dealers, they want you to finance because interest rates are really low right now. So they're making a good point spread on the loans. Yeah. So and it's attractive for consumers as well. It's cheap money right now. So they're encouraging you, and what they're doing is they're discounting the RVs so heavily right now if you finance, because they're making all their money on the back end. But and that's a lot of these internet dealers that sell for price. So be careful, because price isn't everything, and if it's too good to be true, it's because it's too good to be true, because it is. It probably is, right? Yeah, because you're going to pay it in interest. So find that dealer, find that local dealer, that small dealer that's going to give you a cash price, or a finance price, the same price. You know, as long as they're giving you the same price, whether you pay cash or financing, then they're on the up and up. It's just when they give you a different price for cash as opposed to financing, that's you know, not a good tactic.
No, it sure doesn't sound it. 833-229-0911 is the number to call if you want any information at all. And this is the RV Advisor. You can also email us, info@thervadvisor.com. And Gigi, you know, so obviously we're talking a lot about finance today.
Mm-hmm.
I look outside and I see a whole bunch of different kinds of RVs.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm starting out, if I, you know, just want to kind of get you know, if I come to you and say, well, I'm thinking about something, you know, and I'm new to RVing. Do I want to start, is it based only on budget, or should it be, if I'm just getting started, do I want to start something maybe with something a little smaller, or do I want to go large?
It's well, lifestyle is number one.
Yeah.
Of what you're going to do with it. There are many questions to ask yourself, but
Right.
if you came in and have never looked at an RV and you came into my dealership, I'd take you right over to the rental department and say, this is where you need to start.
Mhm.
You know, and take a rental out for 3 days. You'll learn a lot in 3 days, even if it's not the type of vehicle that you want to buy, but it'll teach you the lifestyle, you know, to kind of give you an idea of what you can handle, you know, and then start there.
Yeah.
If you've never done any RVing before.
Right.
And otherwise, you know, I mean, if you buy something small, it's going to be, you know, you'll outgrow it right away. You know, there's questions, there are questions that, I mean, become a member, ask questions. I can pretty much, a family can come in and I can ask them 3, 4, 5 questions and I'll know exactly what type of RV they need to buy. But you know, because I want to sell you what you need to buy, but I'm not here as the RV advisor to sell you an RV, but I'm here to guide you into the questions, the same questions that I would ask you and know what to sell you.
Yeah.
Are the questions that you need to ask yourself, okay, so that you know when you start to shop for an RV. Because you got to know something. One thing is that when you go to an RV dealership and you meet a salesman, the one goal that he's going to have in mind is he wants to sell you what he needs to get rid of on the lot, or what's giving him the biggest commission. So if you are not armed with the right questions, you're going to be driving off the lot with whatever RV is going to give that salesman the biggest commission. So that's why, you know, if you know, join our site and become a member,
Yeah.
ask those kind of questions, you know, or have a one-on-one with me, because I will qualify. I can pre-qualify you with 5 questions, and I'll tell you exactly what you need.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, people say, well, I'm new to this. I don't know what you know,
Yeah.
I don't know what questions to ask.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
that's why
Yeah.
that's why you need to either hire me or become a member, because
Right.
that is every day that customers come in here, and I started this company with a thought, because for the last 2 years, I've been in business almost 33 years,
Mhm.
and I haven't,
November 14th, by the way. is the
November
third-
14th
Yes,
to be
that's the
33 years.
33rd. Yeah.
And for years I haven't been on the sales lot. I have salespeople, and I haven't interacted with customers. I'm doing more service and warranty stuff and other things. So I haven't interacted closely with customers. So I said, you know, I need to get myself back out there. It was my own R&D testing myself. So I started like kind of feeling the customers out, looking what the consumer needs were, and it's so different. I probably haven't been on the sales floor in maybe 10 years,
Yeah.
like a lot, other than my personal customers that have been coming to me for years. But I could not believe how uneducated the consumers are today that have come in. I could wrap them around my finger and sell them anything I want. And it's scary, you know, and that's basically why I built this company, because I can see how easily people can get taken advantage of, because I can do it myself. I can sell you anything I want to get rid of. So I did that testing myself, you know, just to see how uneducated the consumer is. And that's why I formed the RV Advisor to educate and to arm you with knowledge so that a different salesperson, will not take advantage of you. Like I said, I'm not here to sell you an RV. I'm here to guide you on how to buy an RV, because I know both sides of it. And I don't sell customers what I need to get rid of on the lot, because I have, it's just not our style. It never has been our style. And we have customers that have been still buying from us for 30 years, because we sold them the right RV, or maybe one that was small, but that's all they can tow. And then they've come back and traded it in, whatever. But that's the purpose of this company, is to arm you with the questions and things that you need to know, because it's an expensive purchase.
No, it's absolutely critical. And each week we'll be here on Thursdays at 2:00 Eastern time, and you can tune in and you can ask us your questions. You can ask them ahead of time. Email us. We'd be more than happy to answer them at info@thervadvisor.com. Of course, the website is thervadvisor.com. And if you want to call, you can do that too. It's 833-229-0911. It's 833-229-0911. And I think for this week, we'll wish thanks for putting up with us today, by the way. From a technical standpoint, we really did have some issues, and I think we've conquered those issues now. I'm hoping that'll be the rule as opposed to the exception. So I think we're going to keep going here and we'll have our sound and everything worked out. So anyway, for Gigi Stetler, the RV Advisor, my name's Tom Alexander. Thanks so much to our producer, AB, and we will be back next week, 2 p.m. Do we have a question? Do we actually have a question on the way? No. Okay, I wasn't sure. Just wanted to get that in. And we will be back next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for watching Just Ask Gigi Live. So long, everybody.
You. Bye.